It doesn't really matter what kind of a photographer you are. It is always useful to know how to shoot portraits. Even if you just need portraits for yourself or your family, whatever. It is a useful skill to have. And it doesn't really take that much gear. Or you don't need to have like a massive studio space to do it. You can do it at home. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to shoot with a single light, with a very minimal setup, how you can do big things with very small setup. So, welcome to my basement, my studio, my YouTube studio, my workspace here in Spain. If it looks like I'm sweating a little bit, that's because I am. We're in the middle of a heat wave here and it is hot. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm going to tell you about this little setup I mentioned earlier. I try to keep this as simple as I can, with not too much technical stuff, because the essence of portrait photography is not technical. It's all about connection. We're gonna use a white wall, and since I'm only using a one light setup, the wall is not gonna be like off-white, as you see in some corporate shots, headshots, stuff like that. To do that, I need a wall light. I need a light to shine on the wall. I could also do this in post, cut the person out in Photoshop and replace the background. I might show you that sometimes, but let's keep it simple in this video. So, white, and so it's not gonna be white, it's gonna be gray. And the thing is, the tone of the gray color is gonna vary. The further away from the wall, the darker the background is gonna be, the darker gray the background is gonna be. So I'm here pretty close, mainly because I wanted to show you how really little space you need to be able to do this. You know, this is somebody's kitchen, really. You only need a white wall and a chair, a stool, preferably, because the problem with a chair is the back of the chair. It's too comfortable, and you could see like the back peek out here. That's not nice. So in these cases you need to Photoshop, and we don't want that. So if the person is big enough, the back is okay, but what people tend to do, they want to relax like this. And look at that. Now I'm relaxed, my belly is out, and my posture is no good. And even you don't have the back, you have a stool, people tend to just go like this. They just sit like they have the back, they just don't have the back. So the posture is still bad. If you have this problem with your subject, if you don't have this problem, don't worry about it. But some people, you need to make them sit differently to get them to posture up. And the way to do that is if you ask them to slide to the edge of the stool, to the point they're almost falling off the stool. Okay? It's not comfortable, but the posture is going to be good because they need to posture up to maintain balance so they don't fall off the chair. So if you need to do this, this is a little trick you can use. Camera is close to the subject, pretty close. I'm shooting with a 35mm prime, and I like the effect this gives when it's close like that. Settings, everybody always asks about settings, and that's fair. It's going to be different in every room, in every lighting. But I'm going to tell you my settings, what I'm aiming for. I haven't started shooting yet, but what I'm aiming for with this distance, I still want to have all the face in focus, tack sharp. And if my f-stop is low, it's gonna be like if the eye is in focus, the peak of the nose could be not in focus. But I don't want the whole face in focus, the ears too. I'm setting my f-stop at probably around f9-ish for that. That's gonna keep the whole face in focus. It might, if you have like, if the person has big hair, it might soften that in the back. I don't mind that. To get that tack sharp, you need to move a little bit away, because even with f11, f16, if you're that close, you have to be careful with your depth of field. And how do you know? You just try. You just shoot, take a look, take a test shot. You take a look and adjust, and you do that until you're satisfied, until you get what you want. Any camera will do. You know, I have this 5D Mark IV. That's a great camera. It's a professional camera, and I'm guessing you can do a bargain with these kind of cameras now. But you don't need that. Even a camera phone could do this if you can set the speed and aperture. Most camera phone can do that. But you know, if you have a decent DSLR, it's all good, and it doesn't really matter what lens you have. Just set the camera where your lens works. Where does it work? You see it on the back of the screen. You have something in mind. I want this, and then find the spot for your vision. But the light is something not everybody has. This light, for example, I bought this not long ago. I was looking for a ring light for my video, and I found this, and I found it interesting. The cat's light in the eye, for example, is a star. It's not like a circle or a square. It's a star, and it's kind of cool. And you can change the temperature of the light. You can have it more yellow or more blue, depending on what you're doing. I can take these rods off for special lighting. I can take there's a cable. I can put a cable to these rods and do whatever I want with that. So I can do a lot with this light. Shoot portraits, do videos, do a lot of stuff. The biggest surprise with this light was the price. You know, with the stand, I don't remember, I'm not gonna say it, I'm just gonna put it on the screen. And also, link is in the description if you wanna take a better look. I do recommend it, it's a great light. If you don't have that, you might have camera flash. And the easiest way would be just to put it on the camera like this. And this I don't recommend, because this is going to be really hard light. Tiny light source and hard light, and straight on. If you have some of these flashes, they have like this little bouncer thingy, so you can point it upwards and it bounces back. It's better, but not great. Another thing you could do is you can get this. This is a reflector. It reflects the light. It's cheap. You can get this really cheap. You can even use, you know, a white piece of paper or whatever reflects the light. Okay? I set it up at the same angle I'm using the light, and I shoot up in the reflector, and the light bounces back on to the subject. Much nicer light than to use the flash head on. But I'm setting this light straight at the person at about 45 degrees angle. And I find this lighting is great, especially for women. It makes them even more beautiful. For men, sure, you can use it also for men. I would rather do some like what I have here, some like side lighting, 45 degrees here, dark, one side bright on the other side. So this would be here, about 45 degrees. 45 degrees to the side, 45 degrees up would be nice. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you took something from it. As you can see, it's not a very complicated thing, and it's more about the connection you have with your subject than really technical skills. I mean, if you're correctly exposed, if you're at f8 or f11 or f16, you know, it doesn't really matter. Just get your, or even with ISO, like I mentioned, even if your ISO is a little high, you know, it doesn't matter. The connection with your subject is what's matter. That is what makes a great portrait. Other than that, I hope you learned something from this. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.